decided that this engagement is necessary. The presidential candidate, too, for the past 2 months, has been very, very anxious of having this engagement with other candidates of the party. But because of the tight schedule, we've not been able to agree and have this opportunity to have this engagement. And so he decided to avail himself of this opportunity to have this engagement with all the candidates of the party, the PCC coordinators, as well as the party chairman. And so this is essentially the reasons why we have called for this meeting. I want to apologize to you for pulling you out of your home at this point of Christmas. I appreciate the fact that a lot of you would have been enjoying the Christmas. The meeting would have actually come up yesterday, but a lot of our people felt that it was very close to Christmas. A lot of our colleagues too had the challenges of how to book their tickets and so on. And therefore, we decided to have the meeting today. So I want to apologize to you for pulling you out of your comfort zones at this point in time. But I must say that, having said this, that no sacrifices is too much to be made for your country. We'll all appreciate the fact that the country is in shambles. We all appreciate the fact that the country is at a crossroad. We appreciate the fact that the country is not performing the way it ought to. There is no gainsaying the fact that we need to rescue the country. There is no gainsaying the fact that we need to take back our country from those that have held it captive over the years. There is no gainsaying the fact that we need to rescue the country, salvage it from hunger, from poverty, and from unemployment. There is no gainsaying the fact that the population of our people are suffering. There is suffering in the land, and therefore there is no sacrifices that is too much for us to make in order to rescue the country. And therefore I apologize for pulling you out of your comfort zone at this point in time. Having said all of this as a way of preambles, I want to say that this meeting, like we said, is a strategic meeting. Ordinarily, it ought to be a family meeting where the press would not be present. Having said all of this, I am pleased to inform you that we've got a new DG for the Presidential Campaign Council. I want to say that following the resignation of the former DG, Doyin Okute, whose resignation was regretted because we will be losing his wealth of experience. But as a result of the circumstances surrounding the resignation, we didn't have any choice but to accept the resignation. As we said, the obedient movement and our campaign is driven on integrity, dignity, and transparency. And therefore, we, in as much as we regret his resignation because we'll be losing his wealth of experience, we are pleased to announce one of our comrades, a man that is well known, also from the same geopolitical zone, because the campaign council, the party offices are well structured along that line, because we appreciate the fact that We must employ federal character as is enshrined in the Constitution and all of that. And so having put all of this into consideration and having consulted widely, we have come to the inevitable conclusion to replace the DG with Akin Oshutekun. Akin Oshutekun is also from the southwest.
I think it's the
And until this appointment, he has been the zonal coordinator of the Presidential Campaign Council in the Southwest. He is the most senior officer in the campaign council after Doyin Ukube. And so all of these variables were put into consideration before we inevitably arrived at this conclusion. We believe that he has the capacity, he has the competence to join us in this campaign and be able to drive this campaign to success. Having said this, I want to wish you well. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, even though it's in arrears, and I wish you a prosperous New Year in advance. I will therefore enjoin the presidential candidates for few remarks, and then the press will then leave us. The press will then leave us for the strategic meetings. If there are other communiques that we need to give to the press. Recently, 2 days in Imo State, we have also had attacks. One of we have lost two House of Assembly members in Imo State. And so this is the situation. In the period under review, we have also lost one of our colleagues here, the National Vice Chairman, North Central, Adi Shisha Adi, also died a day after we held the Benue presidential rally. I therefore want to join us to rise up for peace.
Thank you.
party. Let me stand and hold you and it's a simple cause. Chairman, thank you for them. Have paid a high price because of this party. And because of they are trying to build a better Nigeria. Over this period, I have been traveling. I was in various states, visiting few people in difficult position, in IDPs. And like I will always say, if Nigerians are in camp, if Nigerians are made to leave their home and live in IDP camp, then Nigeria as a country is in IDP camp. Because those are Nigerians that should be at home. The purpose of government is to care for its citizens. And the first line of care of its citizens is the less privileged. Government takes care of less privileged people. I've said it repeatedly. My commitment is to ensure that every Nigerian wakes up and feels proud of being a Nigerian and not leaving his home to live in IDP camp. So I thank all of you that are here. I'm sure we'll have opportunity of interacting. Thank you for honoring the invitation. I'm sure we're going to have a couple of these probably before election. Thank you, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Labour Party is our own.
Papa, Mama, Pikin.
Nasa? Cable.
Well, it was the party that announced the new DG. Because he said today I announced the new DG. The party did. Our campaign strategy has not changed. It remains the same thing. Trying to say a new Nigeria is possible. We can build a new Nigeria. We can build a new Nigeria where Nigerians are happy, where Nigerians have a means of livelihood and live in their nation, hopefully, that things will get better. Because hope is what drives every process. Today we have a sense of hopelessness. Like I said earlier, that people live in an IDP camp in their country. It shouldn't be. Once they remain in IDP, we're in IDP. And you have seen a series of bad news all over the place. You know, on this month, a young lady who went to work was raped and killed in Jos, capital of one of our states. And on Christmas Day, another one was gunned down in Lagos. And kidnapped and killings and everything is all over the place. So we can't continue this way.
Your Excellency, your national chairman talked about your party being under attack. Just how severe is this issue?
Well, you can see it. I didn't want to, because the chairman have mentioned it, I didn't want to mention it. We got one of our women leaders in Kaduna was killed in cold blood in her house. Same thing happened to a House member contesting election in Imo State. And in several other places, you have party members who are campaigning, complaining, and everything. But because it's affecting Nigerians as well, I don't want to isolate it to just Labour Party. It is a problem of our country today that we need to deal with as quickly as possible, where Nigerians can be secure, hopeful, in living in their own country.
Your Excellency, I have two questions for you. Number one is that we remember there was a time in this country that a president, a Simon president, went outside and called Nigeria youth lazy. And a lot of persons say that was demarketing Nigeria. Now today you have said that Nigeria is more or less an IDP camp because Nigerians are living in IDP camps in their own country. One, some persons will consider that demarketing. The other leg of the question is, if you consider these days poll, it places you more or less at a disadvantage ahead of the 2023 general election. What is your
Which poll?
These days.
They didn't say poll, they say projection. Go and read it. Projection is different from poll. Poll is when you ask actual people. Projection is when you imagine. So it's two different things.
On the youth.
So on the youth, and what you said, there are two different things. I didn't say Nigerians are lazy. I didn't say they're unproductive. I never used that word. Nigerians are very hard-working people. Nigerians want opportunity to work. Nigerian youth are energetic and talented and can compete with youth globally. I've been in that space. What I say is that as long as Nigerians are suffering, every Nigerian is suffering. You can't be a rich man in a poor environment. So if somebody, I said, as long as they're home, if they're not in their houses, Nigeria is not in their houses. That's not the marketing. Because I've said it before, as long as there's insecurity in the Northeast, there's insecurity in Nigeria. As long as there's insecurity in the Northwest, there's insecurity in Nigeria. As long as there's insecurity in Southeast, there's insecurity in Nigeria. The same thing. Just like I always say, at this present, if you say, yes, the highest number of people without job are in the North. The highest number of out-of-school children are in the North. But Nigeria has the highest number of jobless people. It doesn't matter where they reside, because they're Nigerians. And the job of government is to care for all. The highest number of out-of-school children is Nigeria. It doesn't matter where they come from, because they're Nigerians. The same thing is what I said about IDP. It's not the same as classifying that they're lazy. So I will never demarcate Nigeria.
More by volunteers. And there is the issue of people saying that the 2023 election will require a great amount of funding. Are you challenged in any way, given the fact that you have volunteers and funding?
You know, if you read what I've said about the issue of structure, you know. I've said that what we are trying to dismantle is the structure that have created poverty. So don't go there again. The structure, the volunteer are people who want to take back their country and free from oppression, free from producing more poverty. The only thing we have made a success of is throwing people into poverty. It's bringing suffering upon Nigerians. It's making Nigerians unhealthy. That is what we want to reverse. And it will be driven by all of you here. If you don't, remember, it's about your children. It's about you. The society we are building today will take its revenge on all of us tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you.